working a Wild West show, you gotta be famous for something. You ever been in any gunfights or took on any notorious characters?
Mr. Pettigrew, they just don't come any tougher than Curly Bigelow. Who do you think bit the nose off of No-Nose Nielsen?
Son, we give 2 shows a day. That just ain't the kind of thing you can do more than once.
Reckon they'd pay to see the fellow that killed off Quick Shot Cochran?
I'm sorry, son.
Well, I reckon I just ain't cut out for the big time like Buffalo Bill and Pawnee Pete.
Now, just a minute, Curly. I gotta admit, you come on mighty strong to the eye. Maybe we can work something out. How do you feel about going up against the greatest gunfighter of them all?
I'll take on any gunslinger you say. Just name him.
Willie the Kid.
Willie the Kid?
That's it. You gun him down and folks will beat down the doors to see you.
You sure he ain't dead?
I hear Willie's alive and kicking and hiding out in a little town called Wretched, Colorado.
Oh. How am I gonna know him? I reckon he must have changed a lot.
I don't know. But if anybody knows who Willie is, it'll be an old friend of his Pa's.
Who's that?
A man named of Andrew Hanks.
Here's the legend about the Hanks in pistols and petticoats.
Henrietta, the buyer of guns, with one hand milking the goats, and hit a coyote on the run
In pistols and petticoats, the story goes that Grandma was best
at shooting buttons off a rustler's vest.
shooting buttons off a rustler's vest. Grandpa kept his gun in trim.
Nobody messed around with him.
Nobody messed around with him. Chasing bandits to them was fun from Frisco to Terre Haute. Every gun in the West would run from pistols and petticoats. That's the legend about the Hanks, just the way she was wrote. They kept busy protecting banks in pistols and petticoats.
I hope Bus Courtney donates a better grade of bird to this year's turkey shoot. Last year's bird was a mite puny.
You never know when that Bus Courtney's going to pull some kind of a shenanigan. Look out for a minute. Back off, honey bunch. How much am I off?
Oh, just a smidgen. Your last shot missed the bullseye by just the width of a crochet hook.
Dang it. If you don't practice every day, you just lose your touch.
Papa. I found this polecat snooping around the barn.
Well, you oughtn't to wear a get-up like that for snooping, dear. You're bound to be noticed.
All right, sweetie. Now, tell us who you are and what you was looking for.
My name's Curly Bigelow. I made a mistake, that's all.
You sure did, Sonny, and you just made another one. Now you answer the rest of Hank's question. And bear in mind, you're already tagged out for burying.
I'm looking for Willie the Kid.
Ain't nobody here but us Hankses.
And we ain't in no mood for uninvited company. Now get.
All right. But you ain't heard the last from Curly Bigelow.
Nice-looking boy if it wasn't for all that hair.
What a shame he lets his mama pick out his clothes for him.
Understand you're the boss here.
That's right. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm looking for... Willie the Kid.
Try the graveyard, friend.
The way I hear it tell, Willie the Kid ain't dead.
And he must be plenty mad because they buried him.
The way I hear it, he's hiding out right here in Wretched.
Hangman?
News to me, boss.
Assuming Willie the Kid is still alive, what do you want with him?
Little business deal. Now, I'll pay $100 for information.
If I hear anything, I'll let you know.
Much obliged.
I hope Willie the Kid is still alive. This town could use a little excitement.
Why don't you tell him who Willie the Kid really is?
Do you know?
Of course I don't know. Tell him it was old man Hanks. That'll make us $100 and get rid of that cantankerous old coot.
Yeah. With the old man out of the way, it would be easier to get his ranch. But Curly Locks would have to be mighty simple to believe that Hanks was Willie the Kid. Anyone can see the old man hasn't been a kid for at least 100 years.
Mr. Courtney?
Well, howdy, Sheriff.
Today's Saturday.
So it is.
Well, that means that tomorrow's going to be Sunday.
It usually works out that way.
Well, I'm here to remind you not to open this place until after church tomorrow. If you do, I'm going to have to crack down. And here's a few more friendly reminders. Number one, you've been selling day-old whiskey. From now on, it's got to be aged at least 1 week. Number two, your city gambler's license comes due the 1st of the month. Number three, you better sweep out this place. You missed your annual cleanup. And number four, Mr. that'll be all for now.
Thank you. Very nice. Why, thank you.
That was a fine sermon, Reverend Smith.
Thank you, Mrs. Hanks.
Full of fire and brimstone. But it could have stood a little more hollering toward the last.
What Papa means is, if you want the folks to get the message, Reverend, you got to keep them awake.
Morning, folks.
Oh,
Good morning.
Curly. Well, I'm glad to see you remembered your manners and are facing up to folks proper.
I wanted to tell you, I'm real sorry about the other day.
Oh, that's all right, sweetie. Us Hankses ain't grudge nursers.
I'm glad to hear that, ma'am. Because I'm gonna need all the help I can get to find... Willie the Kid.
I gotta go to see to the horses.
I gotta go see about Grandpa.
He went that way, ma'am.
I wonder who's that talking to Mama.
Oh, this is my daughter, Lucy, and the sheriff of Wretched, Harold Sykes. What was your last name again, please?
Bigelow. Curly Bigelow. At your service, ma'am.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
Oh, me too, ma'am. I mean, sir.
We'll be waiting in the Surrey. Don't tarry, Lucy.
In a minute, Mama. Well, you planning on settling down in Wretched?
I didn't aim to, but I'm liable to change my mind. Why, that hair of yours shines like a brand new spit-tune in the sunset.
Why, thank you.
Come along, Miss Lucy. Your mama said not to tarry.
Harold.
Are you going to be at home this afternoon, Miss Lucy?
Why, I don't know.
She's gonna be busy.
Harold.
The mail just come in this morning, and I figured you and me going through the wanted posters, you know, might stay and have some coffee and... Well, I think you'll like this batch. There's a whole bunch of real ugly fellas this time.
Where's Grandpa?
He'll be here in a minute. Just had to see a friend about some trouble.
What kind of trouble?
About 180 pounds of fat head and an itchy trigger finger.
What?
Don't fret, Lucy. Your grandpa has a sure cure for both them ailments.
Holy smoke! Excuse me, Reverend.
Any luck yet, Curly?
Not yet. But I ain't had a chance to talk to old man Hanks. And well, you can't hardly expect them sweet, helpless little ladies to know anything about a Top Gun.
You ain't by any chance talking about Grandma and Henriette, are you?
Of course I am.
Oh, you are a stranger in town.
Courtney.
Now what?
Just a few laws that I forgot yesterday. Number 4, no more throwing people onto the public thoroughfare before sundown. Number 5, you ain't paid your entertainment tax on your piano player. And number 6, no more charging for the free lunch. Now, Mr. Courtney, I want to see that these things are attended to.
Sheriff, one of these days I'm gonna...
Boss. Shouldn't be talking like that to Willie the Kid.
Listen, Curly, I've been thinking. I don't think you need Andrew Hanks at all.
What do you mean?
You seem to have a good, solid head on your shoulders. You ought to be able to figure out who Willie the Kid is yourself.
Well, sure. How?
Put yourself in his place. Now, what if you were a gunfighter and wanted to get out of sight for a while? What would you do?
Well,
Move to another town, right?
right.
Get yourself a nice, respectable job, right?
Right.
In fact, the last job in the world where people would think you were a lawbreaker.
Hey, yeah. It's the sheriff.
Try to match the thread and the buttons, honey.
All right, Mama. If I can, I'll get the mother of pearl buttons.
Well, that'll be fine. Ready, Mama?
Yes. Andrew, what are you going to do while Henrietta and I are going for Ladies' Aid meeting?
I'm going to find that Curly boy and keep an eye on him. If that turnout he's wearing don't blind me.
Bye, Papa.
Bye, girls. Stay out of mischief. Wonder where that Curly is. Excuse me, ma'am. That woman is as ugly as sin. She wears feathers, too.
Mr. Courtney, I'm beginning to have my doubts about that sheriff being Willie the Kid.
What makes you say that?
Well, I've been watching him like a Pinkerton, and I ain't seen him do one little thing to give himself away.
The only way a top gun like Willie the Kid can drop out of sight and stay dead for so long is to play it dumb.
Gee, I never looked at it that way.
Very big. All you got to do is move in, make him show his hand, and call him out.
Yeah.
Mr. Courtney?
What's the matter now, kid? Somebody steal your horse?
No, I don't think so. I was just wondering what you're up to.
What do you mean?
Well, a freighter just unloaded 20 cases of whiskey and a sack of flour.
So?
But what would anybody want with all that flour? Willie the Kid? Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Kid. I thought your name was Bigelow.
My name's not Willie the Kid.
Willie the Kid's yellow. That's funny. Don't sound like a Chinese name, does it? Better slow up on your drinking, fella, because you're liable to be too drunk to recognize your friend Willie when he does show up.
nice cup of tea. It sure tastes good.
I'll get it, Mama.
Thank you, honey.
Well, Andrew,
There's some conniving going on somewhere. That numbskull Curly thinks that numbskull Harold is Willie the Kid.
Harold, Willie the Kid.
Well, that's like mistaking talcum powder for dynamite.
I got a feeling Buzz Courtney is smack in the middle of that mistake.
Now, Andrew, we mustn't judge Mr. Courtney unjustly. What do you suppose that snake in gentleman's clothing's up to now?
I don't think Curly's too much of a shot, so Harold hasn't got much to worry about in the turkey shoot.
If Curly don't dazzle him to death.
I think we've been barking up the wrong stump about that sheriff, Mr. Courtney.
What makes you say that?
Either he ain't Willie the Kid, or he's an awful tough hombre to crack.
Curly, my boy, that only confirms our suspicions. Now, you didn't expect it to be easy to force Willie the Kid out in the open, did you?
Reckon not, but...
You can stop worrying. We've got the perfect way to do it.
How's that?
The turkey shoot tomorrow. A crack shot like Willie won't be able to resist trying to win that turkey.
So I hope you folks are planning on eating turkey tomorrow because I'm bound to win the turkey shoot.
Forgetting about Andrew, Harold, dear?
After all, winning 5 years in a row is enough to lead Papa to think he's got a fighting chance.
Oh, no offense meant, Mr. Hanks. It's just this year I can't lose.
That's what Napoleon said at Wellington.
That was Waterloo, Papa.
Either way, he misfigured.
Well, I've got it figured scientific. You take the velocity of the bullet times the distance from the target and add in the direction and force of the wind. Of course, you subtract the curvature of the Earth, discounting all the dust that's in the air, and that's all there is to it.
Harold, that's wonderful.
Yeah, ain't it, though? Here, let me show you. Dang me if it don't work.
Courtney, how many fellas I gotta outshoot before I get my turkey?
I'm sorry, Mr. Hanks, but we've got a new rule that excludes anybody who's won 5 years in a row.
Well, that's all right, as long as it don't knock me out of the contest.
Exactly what it does do.
You mean I don't get to shoot at all?
That's right. You ain't eligible.
Why, you miserable polecat.
You don't have to take that, boss.
Forget it. Business before pleasure.
Andrew?
I told you he was going to pull some kind of a shenanigan.
Well, I knew Buzz Courtney was a low-down, underhanded, double-dealing, murdering crook, but I never figured he was a poor sport.
This strikes me as something more than just a character flaw, Mama. Buzz is too all-fired anxious to see that Papa don't win.
Well, what good does that do him, Henrietta?
Well, I don't know, unless he's dead set on somebody else winning.
If you ask me, Buzz Courtney is trying to set up Harold so that Curly Boy will challenge him.
Well, Harold can't win, can he, Andrew?
Not the way he shoots. He'd be lucky to hit the wide side of a wagon.
Just the same, I think we ought to figure on taking out a little insurance.
I've seen better shooting from young ones with pea guns.
Isn't he handsome?
Well, I wouldn't say that. You might say that he's, no, that ain't it. Well, maybe you could call him, no, that's not it either. It's more like he was, you can't say that in front of ladies.
reckon it's time.
Keep your hands off your gun, dear. This reticule's loaded.
Guaranteeing that Harold don't get any help he ain't asked for.
Just in case we missed any of them cheap rowdies of yours, give them the high sign they ain't to do any target shooting for the sheriff today, huh?
Why, Henry,
I'd sure hate to put another buttonhole in that elegant coat.
Willie the Kid.
Huh?
We'll see who's the fastest gun here.
Well, I'd be more than glad to accommodate you. But ain't you afraid? I mean, after what you've just seen.
Quit backing water. You has been. I'm stepping off the distance. Then I'm drawing. I've never even seen him draw.
Must have been an echo.
Where'd this come from?
That was a delicious meal, Mrs. Hanks.
Well, thank you, Reverend. It was sweet of Harold to share his turkey with us.
Oh, it was my pleasure. In fact, I intend to do the same thing next year.
Grandpa, didn't you say that Curly Bigelow went to work at the Harris's ranch?
Yep.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he did real well, too, now that he's come to see his blunders.
Yes, if them fancy get-ups of his don't spook the cattle.
Well, I must be going. I promised to call on old Mr. Lott this afternoon. He's been feeling poorly.
I'll see you to your horse.
Bye, Reverend.
Good afternoon, sir. You want to see my Dead or Alive?
What?
My wanted poster.
Oh, yes.
Thank you again for the nice...
Well, it's a great comfort to have Reverend Smith in the community.
Yes, in more ways than one.
I've been meaning to tell you that was some mighty fine shooting you done yesterday, Parson.
Thanks, Mr. Hanks. In the old days, I'd have gotten a gun belt, too.
I wouldn't worry about that if I was you. Well, I'll see you in church. Willie?